Good evening, dear students. Now we come to explain chapter 12 of Wuthering Heights. We said earlier that Kathy locked the door of her bedroom and she would not let Nellie in. She would not eat nor drink for 3 days. Edgar also did not try to talk to her again. He sat in the library reading. He talked once to Isabella. He told her that, as we said in chapter 12 and chapter 11, that if she married Heathcliff, he would refuse to see her again. On the evening of the third day, Kathy unlocked her bedroom. She asked Nellie Dean for some food and water and said that she was dying. Now, Nellie Dean said that she did not believe a word she said about dying. She thought that it was only as she said it here. I sat down, this is just a speech meant for Edgar's ears. I want Edgar to hear those words, according to Catherine. So I believed no such thing. So I kept to myself and I brought her some tea and a dry toast. Now, the point is, you are a servant, you should not put your feelings, you should not do those things. What she wanted, Catherine, was porridge. She wanted a renewed supply of porridge, because she believed that she was dying. Again, with the idea of anorexia, eating disorder, because Catherine started to starve herself, because according to her, this way of starvation, because we said, yes, she was mentally ill, but to her, it was like, oh, look at me, Edgar. I am dying, and it was like that. So here, Catherine, on page 148, 149, she says that I will choose between the two. Now, she says, if I were only sure it would kill him, I would kill myself directly. But I know that in actually killing myself, it would not make him or kill himself. So what would she do instead? She says, I will choose between these two, either to starve at once, that would be no punishment unless he had a heart, or to recover and leave the country. So in between, she has only two options, either to starve herself and die, and in dying, Edgar, what would he say? Well, he will die also of a broken heart. But she says he doesn't have a heart, or to recover, and then I would leave the country. And she says, as we said, if I were only sure it would kill him, I would kill myself directly. These 3 awful nights, I have never closed my lids, and oh, I have been tormented, I have been haunted, Nellie. Why? Because Catherine is starting to see how she is changed, how she is tormented, how she yearns for the past. Now, when Nellie Dean tells her the master is among his books, she tells her, I will die, I will starve myself. She asks her about Edgar, to which Nellie Dean, she tells her he is among his books. Now, on page 148, Nellie Dean says, tossing about, she increased her feverish bewilderment to madness, and she started to tore the pillow with her teeth. This is a very, very important event, or a very important situation, which is Catherine here, as she was sitting on the bed, she started to tear the pillow with her teeth. And then rising herself up all burning, she wanted for me to open the window. Why did she want me to open the window? Because she wanted to have a breath, a taste of the cold wind of the moors. Now, she seemed to find a childish diversion in pulling the feathers from the rents she just made, and she started to put those feathers according to what? According to their species, or according to their kinds. So, why the feathers? On page 148, on page 150, that's a turkey. the second paragraph where she describes where she divides the feathers into their own according species. So the idea here, we have the turkey, we have the wild duck, we have the pigeons, we have the moorcock, and we have the lapwing. Why the pigeons? Why the lapwing? And what is the story of the little skeletons? Let's go to them one by one. She says the lapwing, it wanted to get to its nest, for the clouds had touched the swells and it felt the rain coming. Now the pigeon here, it was also a Yorkshire superstitions was that a person cannot die if they are lying on a pigeon's feathers. We know superstitions. So many people have their own superstitions, and this is also here. According to people at that time, Wuthering Heights, they believed that a person would not die, a person who wanted to die, but they were lying on a pillow with pigeon feathers, they would not die. So what does she say here on page 150? She says, they put pigeon's feathers in the pillows. No wonder I couldn't die. Let me take care to throw it on the floor when I lie down. Now, notice this. Why does she say this? Why does Catherine mention death and all of that? Because Catherine saw that, again, as we said, I will break, in the previous chapter, I will break their hearts by breaking my own. So she thinks that the only way to get out of this whole situation was through death. She was lying on this bed with the pigeon feathers, but she couldn't, she says that she cannot die because the feathers of the pigeons are there. Now, the lapwing here, she mentions, and here is the moorcocks, and this, I should know it, it's a lapwings, a bony bird wheeling over our heads in the middle of the moor. It wanted to get to its nest, but then the clouds had touched the swell and it felt the rain coming. Now, the lapwing here, they're generally they're birds, they're very active, very energetic birds. Their feathers, however, they're often imprisoned in cushions and pillows. So here the symbol is, just like Catherine, the way she is imprisoned in a house that she does not belong to. Notice here I've put this also, the exile. If we look at the people here, Thrushcross Grange and Catherine here, she's like in exile. She feels that she is imprisoned. She does not belong there, and therefore she wishes to get free. Through what? How would she get freedom? With her own death. Now, the lapwing also, it is said that it is a very savage, hostile bird to its own family, or to its own kind, sorry. The same here we can see with Catherine. Do you remember in chapter, I believe, 5 or 4, when Catherine's father tells her, Catherine, why can't you be a good girl? To which she tells him, why aren't you a good daddy? So here the point is, Catherine in her youth, she had not been able to build a friendly relationship with her family, with her brother, with her father, with her servants. Why? Because she was always this free soul, this savage soul that is always on high water mark, if you remember the description in the beginning of the chapters. Now, the story of here, so what is she saying is that this bird, the lapwing, it wanted to go to its place. Nelly, I am in heaven. I do not want to be in heaven. Where do I want? I want to go to my nest. I want to go to my own place, where I feel that the rain is there, the storm is there, the wind is there. Now, Catherine also tells the story of how she and Heathcliff once they found a lapwing's nest. The nest was full of little skeletons, because Heathcliff set a trap over it, and the old ones, according to her, they dared not come. Now, these baby birds, they were orphaned because of a human meddling. This is on page 150. And these birds, they died because they were unable to defend for themselves. Now, here, Catherine's empathy is totally comprehensible. It is understandable. Because after all, she lost her parents when she was like the beginning of early in her life. And if we look at it, in fact, Wuthering Heights is also full of orphans. In a way, we have Heathcliff, Catherine, even Hindley, they're orphans. Even Hareton, in a way, is orphan. So Heathcliff is the most notable. Living parents like Heathcliff and Hindley, they were abandoned. So here, the same story that Catherine tells is in a way, it's a linking to the feelings, or projects the feelings of the abandonment and the loss of those sad dead birds. So this is for the feathers, and you can see that the birds are very important symbol or in the novel. Now on page 151. Nellie Dean here, Catherine here, she tells Nellie that I want to have I want to go out, I want to be where I belonged. However, she cannot, because again, we know why. Now, she tells Nellie Dean, Nellie, I see in you an aged woman. You have a gray hair and bent shoulder. This bed, this is very important, this bed is the fairy cave under Penistone Crag, and you are gathering elf bolts to hurt us. Now, let's see, what is this? The fairy cave, the Penistone Crags. So, what is the bed, the fairy cave, the Penistone Crags, and the elf bolts? Now, here, when Catherine is looking at Nellie Dean, she tells her that you are an elf. She is accusing her of collecting elf bolts, which are arrowheads that were believed to be made by elves. They're used for witchcrafting. Now, the story here, it goes that the elf bolts, the fairy cave, was also it's said to be a poem by Charles Swanson. It's an epic fantasy narrative poem. We'll read some of the lines here mentioned in the slide. So what she means is that Catherine, I am Catherine, and Heathcliff, we are there in the fairy cave, in the Penistone Crags. We're free, we're innocent, we're embracing one another, we're loving one another. We're just innocent human beings who want nothing from the world but to be what? But to just love one another. However, you, Nellie Dean, you are like an elf that wants to hurt that good place. Now, the Penistone Crag, what is this cave? What is the Penistone Crag? Now, the Penistone Crag is the one place where characters, Catherine, Heathcliff, they're free to be themselves. I put this in your notes in the file, so please do check this. The location is associated with Catherine and Heathcliff. We have Cathy here. She shows her yearning to escape the confinement of the Grange. She does not want to be again imprisoned in the Grange, and she wants to run free on the moors. Penistone Crags, their landscapes, their rocks. In the spring, flowers bloom among the rocks, and beauty appears. Again, as we said, it is the only place where Cathy and Heathcliff, they go to escape Hindley. They're both free. They're free spirits as children. And the place here, it signifies their innocence and raw needs. It also represents to this is a slide. It also represents, this is taken from a movie, by BBC. So here, it also represents the beautiful side of their love. Now, on a thematic level, however, Peniston Crag, it's like the Moors. The Moors, did we have the social norm